All right, gentlemen, we're live.
Oh yeah.
Okay, welcome back, everybody. Gun Podcast. The madness is real. I'm here with you. We've got Giovanni back at Ohio Sports Cast. We've got Cooper. I am him. I don't know if you caught that last week, but I thought that was pretty funny. I tried to add that to your little title, but like it is I, Cooper.
It is I, Cooper. Yeah.
Okay. So we're just going to do a little refresher on what we did for the last podcast, and we wanted to kind of talk about some of that stuff. I see we got one individual live in the chat here. It's our good friend Gavin Fontaine.
Oh wow.
What's up, Gavin? Give you a little shout out. Um, but that's cool. Yeah, so we're live right now. We just wanted to kind of keep you guys up to date, and hopefully we can put out something like this every week, or at least I will with the Top Gun podcast. We don't have our good friend Coach Kellerman with us. You know, sometimes life hits, and we got to do big boy jobs and take care of our houses and stuff like that. So, okay, so we're gonna get into it. We won't make this too long. Hopefully you guys tuned in to see some sports talk. So let's get into it. Like I said, the madness is real. We're gonna start off kind of talking about the brackets, what parts are broken, some Cinderella stories, and kind of if our brackets are even worth talking about anymore. So I know these guys filled out multiple brackets. I only filled out one. I hate tracking a ton of brackets over the course of 3 weeks, so it kills me. So I only track one. So I'll let these guys tell me about theirs, and then we'll get into it with mine. So, real quick, kind of to recap, and you guys can chime in. Um, the brackets, how they looking?
Yeah, my bracket is kind of got busted yesterday by St. John's getting beat up on by Arkansas. I mean, I had Arkansas winning that first game, and I think I only made like three or four brackets, but in almost all of them, I did have Arkansas taking that first one, but I did not have Arkansas beating St. John's in any of
Right,
those brackets. So
right. I think I had Arkansas getting to that round, but I had St. John's in my Final Four. So if anything broke my bracket, that was the game that kind of that's the one that's hurting me right now. So.
for sure.
Uh, I would say that the McNeese upset, that was a big one. I think some people had Clemson going pretty far. Um, what else?
That Colorado State one messed up a few of my brackets. I had Memphis going, I want to say, to Sweet
Yep.
16 in at least
Uh,
one of my brackets.
Memphis getting beat by Colorado State. I had them in my Elite Eight.
Oh,
Um,
yeah.
yeah, that one hurt. So those are the two that hurt. Other than that, my bracket doesn't look too bad. Giovanni, what do you think? You been following it all?
Little bit, my is not at all. I did think on in fact it went, but I'm not. But I had the contact now. Well, that you on the that uh and that would you just do the stuff it be in I'm pretty much back over the
Yeah. I I don't know if we caught a whole lot of that, Giovanni. I think your mic's chopping again. That's all right. No worries. Yeah, I know right now we got um some big games. Auburn beating Creighton. I had Auburn in my finals. So that was a big one. Duke beating Baylor. I was actually worried about that one. I think I said that. Baylor was one of my Cinderella stories that might come out of it. I'm kind of glad Duke won though, because I had Duke winning it in my bracket. The Florida UConn game, that was a tight one. That would have wrecked some brackets for
for
sure.
sure.
Yeah, 2-point game at the end. Tennessee was a good win for them. UCLA's not a half bad team. Um, so Houston's looking pretty dominant right now.
Oh, dude, Zaga only lost by 5. I had Zaga going Final Four,
That was one of your.
and well, that was my whole thing. Was I thought if they could beat Houston,
That's always
besides like,
the
yeah,
yeah. That's always the Cinderella story, right? Is if they can get
yeah,
that one sneaky win, they got because of seeding, they kind of got a cakewalk through. So yeah, I thought the same thing with Baylor if they could sneak by Duke, but I mean, I watched that previous Duke game and they're good. I mean,
dude, it's crazy.
it's I mean, they're good. Cooper Flagg's just I mean, he's a guard at 6'8", and then their size and length is just
It's
it's gonna be hard to stop them.
yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. But right now, ESPN's telling me I'm in the 96th percentile as far as brackets, which isn't bad considering I had St. John's going to the Final Four. So
Yeah, I think I started, maybe the first 1 or 2 days I was at about 90% accuracy. I think my bracket has gone down quite a bit, especially for my podcast bracket. It's at
gotcha.
like the it's in like the 50 or 60th
Yeah, you're
percentile. It's
sitting at
not very good.
52, about
Yeah.
53%. So yeah,
So
for
I
this
think
podcast.
I think I picked too many. I wanted too many upsets to
Yep.
happen.
Yep. You start talking about
Dude,
it and you convince yourself.
yeah.
Yeah, that's
I
what I did that with Wisconsin. I knew I shouldn't have gone with Wisconsin. But um
I was crying that UC San Diego game. I was watching the whole thing. Second half, they go on like a 17-3 run. I'm like, this is exactly what I said would happen. And they lose by 3. I was
yeah.
real sad, but you know, you can't be too sad when a team it's their first year of eligibility for the tournament. It's only their 4th year, even playing Division 1 basketball. I can't really be that mad about
No.
that. So
Yeah. So Gavin had Missouri going pretty far, huh?
I want to say he did.
Yeah.
I think he had Missouri maybe going Elite 8 or Sweet 16 in his.
So if you guys don't know, Gavin is Cooper's twin brother. So that's who's chiming in here. Yeah, I believe it or not, you're probably not gonna believe me. I mean, you can check my bracket, right, Cooper? But
Yep.
I had the Drake upset, and I had the McNeese upset. Just saying.
I had McNeese.
So
I always like Drake in the month of March. You like Drake. There's those teams that you're like they're a team to watch in March. Drake and McNeese. I had McNeese, but I did not have Drake.
I
I'm gonna see
gotcha.
if I can find Gavin's bracket here on ESPN app.
Yeah,
He's sitting in the 70th percentile right now, so not
he is.
bad. But he let's see where he had Missouri. Let me find it. He only had Missouri going one round, but yeah, still a pretty big upset there for Drake.
Yeah, Drake's a good basketball team. I think they're definitely a basketball school. You don't hear that name outside of the college basketball tournament.
I don't even know if they have a football team, honestly,
Yeah.
or anything.
Was
basically.
that on your homework list? Is that on one of the teams you would have researched?
What?
Drake?
No, but my fun facts they relate to Drake, I would say, definitely in a way.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see here, real quick. All right, so that was pretty much the talk in talking about our brackets. There's not much more going on. We'll see. Maybe we'll reassess when we get to the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight here, and have a Final Four discussion. But for the most part, these 4 days are when brackets just get toasted. You go through Thursday, you're feeling really confident. I think I only missed 2 games. I had Georgia going a little bit further as well. That one kind of screwed me over. I did not pick Gonzaga, just so you know. And then let's see, you get to Friday, and then you have a couple more upsets, and yeah, Saturday kind of wrecked it with St. John's, and every day you've got to pep yourself up to watch some more. But no,
Yeah.
I guess we'll reconvene. Hopefully, not too many more get bumped. So, but
Yeah.
all right. So we've got a little bit. We did a little bit of homework. I pitched an idea here. I heard somewhere else, and I thought it was a fun idea, and it might make the podcast more fun too. But I had these guys do a little bit of research on schools in the area. Well, in the tournament. So they specifically had different regions. For example, I had the Midwest region, and I think Coach Kellerman had something else. And like I said, he won't be on, so we'll have to skip that region. But um, each of us are going to go through and do some interesting facts. Um, Giovanni, how's your microphone working now? We'll do a little mic check. See,
My
still choppy. I know. I don't know what to tell you, man. I see you just fine, but the mic is cutting in and out. So we can try it if you'd like. I don't mind. Just do a couple and then see where it goes from there.
Yeah.
That kind of sounded clear.
Yeah.
But Cooper, why don't we start with you? Would you be willing to start?
Yeah, I'll be down to start. So I was working with the South region of the bracket. So my team I wanted to start with was I want to talk about Bryant University, which used to be Bryant College, but they eventually became Bryant University. And I want to talk about one player in particular. You may have seen he went a little viral during Bryant's game against Michigan State. Pardon me. His name is Earl Timberlake, which is, I want to say, an awesome name, first of all. But you may have seen him because he dove for a loose ball, and he had the gash on his head, and you may have seen the picture of him like covered in blood, which that's totally awesome. That's what March is all about. He's leaving it all on the floor, but he's also had a bit of a journey throughout Division I basketball. Freshman year he played for Florida, then he played for Memphis for a year, and now he's been at Bryant for 3 years, where he's actually accumulated a pretty good amount of awards. This year he was America East Player of the Year, two-time first team All-America East. He was second team All-America East in 2023, and he was also on the defensive team this year. And if you saw him shooting free throws, he's got a bit of a wacky jump shot. This is because I want to say the thing I saw, he was in high school, he had a shoulder injury. So every time he comes up to shoot a shot because he's left-handed, he comes up, his left shoulder comes all the way up here, and then it like drops. So he's got a really weird like left shoulder hitch. I just wanted to talk about him because he's just a really cool player this March. Staying on Bryant University, they have a live mascot, and so right now they have Tupper II, who's their live Bulldog mascot, who replaced the first one, Tupper I, who unfortunately passed away in 2017. And so he was their live mascot for 8 years, from 2009 to 2017. But he actually passed away at a school event. he had a stroke, and it was super super sad. But the first one he passed away, and he was replaced later with Tupper the second. They're both bulldogs. They're both like purebred bulldogs, and so they have live mascots, which is a lot more common than you might think, especially in colleges. So also in the South bracket, teams who have live mascots. Obviously, Bryant has a live mascot, but North Carolina has a live goat, which is a Tar Heel. So North Carolina has a live goat that they bring to the football games, and Texas A&M has a live border collie named Revel. They're on Revel the 10th. So Texas A&M has a border collie, and I know the east part of the bracket was Coach Kellerman's part, but I want to talk about Baylor, who does have a live bear that they keep in one of their. They have like an enclosure for it, and a team who's not in the tournament, LSU, has a very famous live tiger named Mike the Tiger. So I just wanted to talk about maybe some live mascots or
Yeah.
some fun facts there.
So to go back to Baylor, did you know that they had we're kind of helping Coach Kellerman out, right?
Yeah.
Did you know that they had a "We Are Marshall" moment?
I did not.
Have you ever seen the movie "We Are Marshall"?
I believe I have.
Or do you know what it's about? It was basically about the football team died in a plane crash, right?
Yeah.
So Baylor had their basketball team was in a train accident, and like 50% of the team died. Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, so they had to start over.
That's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I'd heard that stat going into the tournament as well. Keep going.
A not fun fact.
Well, it's a interesting fact.
Well, I mean, it's an interesting fact.
Sure.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna. All right, let me. All right, let's see. I'm gonna talk about teams. All right, I'm gonna move to other teams who, and this is something that I've been like obsessing over like the past week is live mascots and teams who have live mascots. So I'm just gonna keep moving throughout the other parts of the bracket. UConn has a live husky. Washington also has a husky. Drake, and I see them a lot on social media. Drake has 2 live bulldogs named Griff the First and Griff the Second. And Griff the Second loves dressing up in a basketball costume. Look it up. It is the cutest thing you will ever see. Arkansas has a live Razorback. And that is pretty dope.
Suey Pig.
Yeah.
That's our battle cry. Yeah. Pig Suey.
Yeah, I'm not sure about other teams.
It's too bad UAB doesn't have a live mascot.
Live dragon, dude. That would be awesome.
Maybe like a I don't know.
Yeah. That would be awesome. Wofford has, I'm not sure if they have it anymore, but I've seen a few pictures of, they're the Wofford Terriers, so they have a little Boston Terrier that the mascots with. Gonzaga has a live bulldog. Basically, any school whose mascot is a bulldog, they have a bulldog.
Akron doesn't have a live kangaroo.
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah. I didn't do my research. That one wasn't in my side of the bracket, but I would, I don't know where they get the name Zips from. Maybe somebody else can help us with that one.
Yeah. And going back actually to Bryant, I want to say that when I was reading articles about Bryant, they used to be like the Bryant. They were something like, it was like indigenous. I want to say they're like the Bryant Indians or Warriors or something.
Okay.
And then they had like a school vote to change it, and they became the Bulldogs. Tennessee, I know they're the Volunteers, and also I know that's Kellerman. That's Kellerman's school, but they're the Volunteers. But they have a live, like, I think it's either a Basset Hound or a Bloodhound, but they got a silly little guy who they bring out on the field.
It's a blue tick. Blue tick coonhound.
Okay, whatever you say, buddy.
Google it. I promise that's what it is.
Awesome. I don't think Wisconsin has a live badger, but BYU does have Cosmo the Cougar, who is one of the most well-known, not like an animal mascot, but one of the most well-known mascots.
Right.
Doing backflips over stuff.
Right.
Other teams who are not in the tournament, like not even close. I want to say Southern Southern Illinois has a Saluki. I'm actually gonna Google that. It's like a it's a really strange looking dog.
Yeah, it's got long hair.
Yeah,
Yeah. Kind of built
but
like a greyhound, right?
yeah, but they have
But not a
a live
greyhound.
one of those.
Right.
Um, speaking actually of them, this is all the way back from football season. I just remember this randomly. They had like 3 injured quarterbacks. So there's this like senior who had never played or something, and like last game of the season, he threw for like 600 yards. I'm just remembering this randomly,
Hmm.
but
That is random.
yeah, he threw for like 600 yards in his only game ever. I'm looking through this, but yeah, like he played one game, threw like 600 yards. Yeah, fun fact there about Southern Illinois. Okay, I'm looking. Nick Baker. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at something else. I don't know what I'm talking about.
That's okay.
My brother actually just sent me a little information about the Akron Zips, so I
Okay.
think I'll read this off. So in 1927, a campus-wide contest was conducted to choose a nickname for the university's athletic teams. Student Margaret Hamlin suggested Zippers, which was also the name of a popular rubber overshoe sold by B.F. Goodrich Company in Akron. And then in 1950, the athletic director shortened it to the Zips, which, well, what is a zip? Apparently, it's a kangaroo.
Maybe they had a second contest for what kind of animal would represent it, and Zips
Yeah,
was where they got the name, kind of like the Rubber Ducks, with the Akron Rubber Ducks is based
rubber.
on the rubber, the city. So
Yeah, Akron Rubber Bowl.
correct. Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Is that
Pete.
your list?
I think that's my list right now.
All right. I think we're working on getting Giovanni a feed here, but I'll go through my list. I'll go through my list here while you guys are doing your thing. Giovanni, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Can you do a little mic check for me? Sing a couple notes of your favorite song.
My my
A little better.
Still a little choppy.
Still a little choppy, but it's better. I mean, we're making progress. We'll see. I'll go through my list. Is that all right, Giovanni?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. So I had the Midwest region, and there were some interesting names like SIU Edwardsville, which I'd never even heard of before. I figured it was just a small community college or something, but I'll put them on my list. We always hear Gonzaga, and you usually don't hear Gonzaga until you hear the basketball tournament or basketball in general. And then, of course, you got to look up McNeese State. Yeah, I tried to go through all the the obscure ones, the ones that didn't stand out as most or as most common. We had High Point and Wooford. You already mentioned Wooford the Terriers, so I'll start with Wooford. Wooford is located in Spartansville, South Carolina. So it is in South Carolina if that ever comes up on Jeopardy. Um, Famous alumni, you have Jerry Richardson, which I'll give you a quarter if you can tell me who Jerry Richardson is. Anyone? Right. That's their most famous alumni. But he is the founding owner of the Carolina Panthers. So there you go. Now you
Oh,
know. And so here's a little history fact for you. I kind of tried to stay away from sports for my facts.
oh
I
yeah.
didn't really give you guys guidelines, so it's no big deal, whatever you chose to do. But because it was founded in 1854, pre-Civil War, right? South Carolina, pre-Civil War. Um, it's one of the oldest colleges in the South to still operate on its original campus. So,
Uh,
when the Civil War was going on, like 95% of the war was fought in the South, and one of the strategies that they used was basically burning everything to the ground to get the South to concede. And so, um, yeah, they burned a lot of colleges and old buildings, and not a lot of them stand on where they were originally founded, except Wooford. So, there's your interesting Wooford facts. Um, Naturally, I did Southern Illinois University of Edwardsville, and I promptly found just about nothing. There was very little interesting facts. I mean, there's your, what the enrollment is and when it was founded, and it's a pretty new university. I assume it's probably, like I said, it was just this small, like, was probably NAIA or Division 2, and their enrollment got high enough that they were bumped into Division 1. And you win your conference tournament, you're in. So they won and they were in, and they were promptly out. So they got beat in the first round. So I didn't have a whole lot on them. I just thought I'd bring that up because I'm sure people are probably interested after I said it. McNeese,
and hold on,
go
I don't
ahead.
want to like interject, but
Please do.
SIU Edwardsville. Have you seen the like the video of them, or at least their coach, like when they won the tournament? And so I saw this clip of the coach, and he's like, he framed these scissors in a frame. I think he said, like, he was like, 5 years ago when I got this job, I put these scissors here. And so he goes into his office in the locker room, and he walks out with these scissors in this glass case.
Gotcha.
And he's just like a super high energy guy. He's got his players. He's like, look, guys, we just punched. I think they were the first team to punch their ticket
Right.
into the tournament. But yeah, so I was gonna say I knew they're pretty new, into
Yeah.
Division 1.
Break
at
glass
least.
in case of championship.
Yeah, but
That-
I just wanted to interject with that.
No,
really
that's
quick.
a good fact. I like that one. McNeese State. All right, got some good ones on this one, and I think the last one is probably like kind of up Coop's alley. So McNeese State is located in Louisiana on Lake Charles, previously known as Lake Charles Junior College. So it was not always McNeese State University. It was once Lake Charles Junior College. Famous alumni. Might not know these guys. We'll see. This is dating myself. We got Ben Broussard. You know who Ben Broussard is? Giovanni might know. Former
No.
Cleveland Indian. So within the last 10 years, he wasn't very good. Kind of retired early, became a singer-songwriter. So he's somewhere in Nashville, I'm sure. Joe Dumar.
Oh yeah, Joe Dumars.
Joe Dumar. Yep. Famous Piston. Right. So
Yeah.
back when Jordan and the Pistons were going toe to toe. They have a horse rider tradition. So they've got, again, located in the South, they've got a general that was from that area mounted on a horse in front of their stadium. And what they do on game day when they're tailgating is they have someone dress up as the statue and, like paint him up, and then he'll ride around campus, and then he'll ride into the stadium and, kind of go around with his sword drawn, kind of like the USC Trojan.
Yeah, I was
and
gonna
then
say.
and then the Florida Seminole kind of thing. Like you ride around, get everybody rallied, and yeah, so that's their kind of
That's pretty sweet.
rallying cry. And then, I mean, how can you not leave out? I know you know where I'm going with this. Amir Ora Khan,
Dude,
right?
he's
This dude
awesome.
is the March Madness story right now.
Yeah.
I mean, they're gone, and I'm sure like NBC, or yeah, the TV networks are like hating it because everybody was sharing his story and they were loving it. I mean, you're talking the first ever team manager to have an NIL deal.
Dude, he has sports cards. He made a deal with
Tops. Yeah, I saw that.
It's Tops, dude.
Yeah,
He's got sports
it's
cards.
crazy.
It's awesome.
I mean, you're talking about a kid who probably went to the coach and was like, "Hey, can I just help out?" To like Buffalo Wild Wings paying him probably a couple $1,000s to just slap a sticker on his speaker as he walks the team out.
And you know what?
That's sweet.
And you know what? That's so awesome.
That is awesome. I'd do it.
Yeah, that
would
literally be
I don't know
me.
if I could get away with singing some of the songs that they were singing, but yeah, It's all right.
Yeah, well, he's not your average Joe. I mean,
No, I mean he's
clearly
he's
he's awesome.
he's got aura. So so that's the big story from McNeese was their
Yeah.
team manager, not their upset over Clemson. It was the team manager,
Although
right?
I was gonna say when I was watching that game, they have this one kid. I don't even know his name, but I saw him. He had like 2 putbacks. He was dunking everything.
Yeah,
I
no,
just wanted to.
I'm not taking anything away from the team. They are a good team. I was just, like everybody's just diving all over Amir. So, but yeah, okay. So
Yeah.
that was 2 of them. I've got more. All right, Gonzaga. Everybody knows Gonzaga because of basketball, but other than that, what's Gonzaga? Gonzaga is in trivia. Where's that?
That's actually a really good question. Probably like, well, so probably somewhere in that. Oh wait, Gonzaga's in. Are they in California, right?
Spokane, Washington.
I knew
So
it
out
was
west,
over on
yeah,
that
yeah.
coast. I knew it
We
was on
never
that
watch
west
them.
coast.
We never watch them play because they're always out west, right? So Spokane,
Yeah.
Washington, founded in 1887, which is actually really old to be West Coast.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy.
That's pretty old when you think of like the gold rush to California took place in 1849. So yeah, that was a while ago. So famous alumni, you got John Stockton, you got Bing Crosby. Do you even know who Bing Crosby is?
Yes, dude. White Christmas.
Okay, good. All right, I was just making
He's
sure.
overrated though, in my opinion. I'm
Oh,
not a huge fan.
ooh, you're gonna upset
But
a lot of our
I make my dad mad every year at Christmas time. I'm like,
a lot of our older viewers. They just tuned out. Anyway, so and then the last one. I mean, how can you not know who Adam Morrison is? Not tooting my own horn, but
no, shout out Adam Morrison.
shout out Adam Morrison, like just the scrubbiest looking best player of all
Have
time.
you have you seen the interviews of NBA players when they're talking about him and Charlotte and they're like, dude, he smells terrible.
he looks like he smells terrible. Yeah.
Dude.
No, and he was. I know Cooper, you probably weren't even alive to watch him play, but in like 2006 and 2007 when he was going up against JJ Redick, and I'm literally your age in high school, and he is just like he was so good in college. I mean, he was on a team that didn't have anybody. He put Gonzaga on the map. He is the reason why they are kind of mentioned in the college basketball um, scene. I'm not taking anything away from John Stockton. He was good, but since Adam Morrison, I think they've made the tournament just about every single year. So he was, 6'9", could shoot a shot from anywhere, could dunk anywhere, anytime, and then he goes pro and hurts himself, and he's like a flop as a draft pick. So I think he was like the first ever draft pick for the Bobcats, the Charlotte Bobcats.
Yeah, in Charlotte, man.
Michael Jordan went after him. So
he's got a pretty good last name too.
Yeah. I asked my dad way back when. I was like, "Are we related to this guy?" And he's like, "We might have family out there. I don't know." So no confirmation there. Anyway, so their student section, you already mentioned that they're the Bulldogs. Their student section is called the Kennel Club. I thought that was
Oh yeah. That's clever.
It was all right. I mean, just thought I'd mention it. But the one cool thing I found, the interesting fact I found about Gonzaga was that they used to so the state fair is hosted in Spokane, Washington. And it would go on right when students started getting to campus. So like the state fair was going on just about the same time school was starting. And up until 1990, part of the fair was letting students participate in the rodeo. And so that sounds like a terrible idea, doesn't it? And so they would like have kids like open signups. They'd come down and they'd, jump on a bronco or a bull and they'd ride these things around. And they finally decided it wasn't safe. And so they shut that down in 1990. So,
that is insane.
Yeah, I can't. I mean, I could just see a bunch of inebriated college kids coming down out of the bleachers and riding around on a horse. I wouldn't doubt if one or two of them may have died.
Yeah, that does not seem like a safe event to have on or even near a college campus whatsoever.
No. The mechanical bull down the road is probably good enough. Yeah. All right, high point. I'll kind of speed through the next two. Actually, yeah, I'll speed through them so that Giovanni, we can see if we can get some from Giovanni here. All right, High Point, located in High Point, North Carolina. Famous alumni Cody Allen. There we go. Shout out. There we go. Guardians. Cody Allen. Um, they have a tradition. This one, yeah, High Point's going to be quick for me. They have a tradition of at football games and graduation ceremony, they have a bald eagle. They're kind of like Auburn. They fly it around the stadium during it. I thought that was kind of neat. So
It's pretty sweet.
they were said to be a very patriotic school, from what I've read. So they also have a steakhouse on campus that you can get steak and at the same time be taught Southern hospitality. So like etiquette. So like while you're sitting there, they teach you how to like your fork goes here and here's no elbows on the table and
Got your
please
salad fork and
please and
your
thank
regular
yous and
fork.
yeah, so I
That's
guess
pretty
it's
sweet.
kind of like a class on top of it. So anyway, last one. This one was for Coach Kellerman, but he's not here to hear it because I was going to test him on it, and I don't think he would have known the answers to these. The Tennessee Volunteers. Um, the checkerboard. Like, what's up with the checkerboard? Like, why is it such a big thing to them? So the checkerboard in the end zone is because of their one of their first coaches, General Robert Nealon, which is why the stadium's named Neyland Stadium. Um, he would say charge the checkers, which was what in reference to there was a hall on campus, Ayers Hall, that had like a architectural pattern of checkers built into the side of it. So like the bricks were laid in like alternating ways so that they looked like checkers, like a checkerboard. And so he had that like battle cry, like drive to the checkers or charge to the checkers, and because it was at the other end of the stadium, and they used that and used it and used it, and then in the '60s, their athletic director said, "We're going to make this part of our stadium," and so they painted checkers on the end zone, and so the phrase "drive to the checkers" is now like, or go to the checkers, charge the checkers.
That's crazy.
So there's that. Um, the Why are they called the Volunteers? Like I always wondered that too. I had
I
an idea. I kind of knew,
th-
but I wanted to know like the straight facts. And so the volunteers are called the volunteers because of there's two instances in early American history or United States history where we didn't really have an army yet. So in the War of 1812, we're a new nation. You're less than 50 years old as a nation. They didn't really have an army, and so they um, they called to each state to form militias, and they sent out a request for a certain amount of troops. Well, in the War of 1812, Tennessee sent more than enough troops. They sent more than requested. And then again in the Mexican American War, they sent double the amount of troops that was requested as well. So they are known as the volunteer state because of their participation in two early wars in American history. I don't know why their mascot is the blue tick hound. I don't know why. I didn't look that one up. So maybe that's on you and your love for animal mascots, Cooper. So, or maybe we can get
I got you.
Gavin on it from behind the scenes.
Oh yeah.
So I'd be all right with that. Okay. All right, here we go. We're gonna see if Giovanni's got a feed on him. Giovanni, how we doing? Let's do a little mic check. Still a little choppy, brother. Try it again.
Check. Check.
I only got one of those checks. I know you're hitting check.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah.
What we'll do, Giovanni, here's what we'll do. Next time we do one, you'll give your report, okay? And we'll expect it. How does that sound?
Yeah.
Thumbs up. Okay, good. And we're coming up here on baseball season soon, so the Guardians and the playoffs. I mean, look at Giovanni's background right now. The man lives and
Come
breathes
on now.
the Cavs, just like Cooper's back there is. Yeah, who's that again?
Detroit
Oh,
Lions.
the Detroit Lions. Gotcha. That's
Oh
okay.
yeah, come on.
That's okay. I mean, that's okay. I think we could have a pretty good pro football talk. We got representation of the Browns from Giovanni. We got representation of the Lions, some NFC, and then I'll take us out west with the Broncos. So, and I think we can make something happen there. So, okay, so what we're gonna do here, um, and Giovanni, if you would like, I know you were using the chat feature on our webcam here. If you want to like maybe type some of those in, like your picks for our Mount Rushmore, I can read them off, and we could do it that way.
Uh,
How does that sound?
that
Sound good? Okay.
yeah.
I don't want to lose your feed, but your video feed, but I still want to know who you pick. And I think a 3-person um, Mount Rushmore, like snake draft, I think that would be a lot more fun than a 2-person. Me and Coop would go through this pretty quick. Um, I was hoping Coach Kellerman, was going to come up with some weird ones here, but we'll see.
And I'd just like to interject really quick. This fact does not come from Gavin Fontaine. This comes from Mr. Sean Fontaine here. So the blue tick coonhound is the mascot for the University of Tennessee because it is the official state dog of Tennessee. And in 1953, the university decided to hold a contest on who their live mascot should be, and the blue tick hound won over the crowd, and so they voted, and that is how it became the school mascot.
Well, I appreciate Mr. Fontaine for that diligent research there. Um, yeah, it sounds like a lot of schools just vote on their mascot instead of like letting it be like kind of natural. But I guess up to the fans. When you put it up to the fans, it's a little more fun. They feel invested in it, right?
Yeah.
I know that's how the Rubber Ducks were. I mean, you got a rich history in Akron, and you leave it up to the fans to decide. So I wish the Guardians would have done the same.
And then also, let's be honest, all the minor league teams have awesome
The
mascots as well.
best, the best.
Like, dude.
But I will say this: there's something about having a classy mascot. Um, like the Rubber Ducks. That's a fun mascot, and that's why I
Yeah.
like minor league ball. It's like that's the setting for it. But a classy mascot is something you can kind of get behind, you can support at a major league level. It just seems bigger, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. If you start like, I don't know, what are some of the other goofy ones? The Bradford Fighting Squirrels and
Chattanooga Lookouts.
yeah, I mean they look at more like the history of that area, so
Yeah.
I do like that in a sense, but anyway, that can be another one. Best minor league
Or I got some good college mascots up
yeah.
in my brain here. Western Kentucky, dude. The
Hilltoppers.
Hilltoppers.
Yep,
Big Red. Come on now.
sure. Oh, there's some good college ones. The Banana Slugs. What is that? The
Santa Clara. That
Santa
might be Santa
Clara.
Clara.
Yeah,
It's one of those California teams.
Right. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Mount Rushmore, and here's how it's gonna work. When I say Mount Rushmore, all 3 of us are obviously picking 4 teams. We are picking the best Ohio sports teams of all time. Now, that doesn't mean dynasty, franchise. We're not talking about like the Patriots from 2001 to 2018. We're not talking that. Like, we're talking like singular season. This is the best team to compete in Ohio as one team. Okay. So, and I didn't specify on pro, college, but I mean, I'd have to put a pretty big argument if it's like the Fontaine 2014 T-ball team that went undefeated, something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna debate you on that one, but I'm looking for best, and then like they just give me a quick like here's my resume for that why I picked them. Okay, or you could just pick them. You don't have to have reasoning. That's fine too. Just say like, well, you picked mine, so I'm gonna have to go with and then think of something. So, um, we'll start with the youngest, and I'll go last. That means I get 2 picks, and then we'll send it back to Giovanni. So Giovanni will start. We'll go to Cooper, and then to me, and then I'll get 2 back to Cooper. Giovanni gets 2, and then till we get 4. How's that sound?
I got you.
Giovanni?
Yeah.
Okay. We'll try and talk it in, and we'll try and get it for you, okay? All right, Giovanni. Who is your number 1? You got the first pick in the first round.
Oh, I'm just last 20.
Giovanni, I'm assuming I caught like every other word of that. Was that the 2016 Cleveland Cavaliers?
Yeah.
That's who I figured you'd pick. I was banking on that one going off the board real quick.
Yeah.
So that's a good one. Good one, Giovanni. All right, Cooper, to you.
Yeah, I definitely like that pick. I think I'm gonna go with also a 2016 team. Give me the 2016 Cleveland Indians. You know, 2016 was a good year for everything besides football. um,
Yep.
You know, I mean, they're all nearly a 100-win team. Almost won the the finals, or yeah. So
We were a fake rain delay away.
yeah,
That close.
but that's my pick there.
Fun story on that. Mrs. Morrison and we were watching that game, and when Rajay Davis hit that home run in the bottom of the ninth with two outs, we woke the neighbors 2 doors down. We were.
That's crazy.
I mean, that might have been the most electric moment in Cleveland sports history. I mean, crazy. I mean, to think like 2 outs, your hopes are gone. Best closer in baseball at the time. What a game. What a game.
Speaking of I know. Speaking of you getting loud for baseball, I saw a video of you at a Guardians game recently. After someone may or may not have hit a pretty big home run, you were screaming pretty loud there too.
Yeah. So this year's game 2 or game 3.
It was whichever one Fry hit the.
I can't.
Whatever one that was.
I should know this. I was there.
Yeah.
Which game, Giovanni? Yeah. So we were actually there were 2 games. The one that's known as like the loudest game in sports history. We were at when Frankie Lindor hit the grand slam in 2017. It was the next year off the Yankees. We were down like 9-3 at the time, so he hit a grand slam off the foul pole. That place erupted. We were back behind the bullpens. It was standing room only. I'd never been part of anything like that ever until this last year. We got tickets right behind the first base dugout, or the third base dugout, sorry. So home team dugout. We watched Big Christmas hit his home run, and it was loud. We were all ready to leave, tied it up. And then we watched David Fry hit his home run, and that place, you would have thought we'd won the World Series with that one. So that was amazing. So that was pretty cool. Yeah, I got that one on video, both the hit and some pretty awesome there. So okay, so I get 2 picks. So the 16 Indians and Cavs are off the board. I have to decide which ones you guys aren't going to pick because it's not going to come back to me for a while. So this is kind of the tricky part here. I'm going to go with best teams. I'm going to have to go with the I'm going to have to go with the 02 Ohio State Buckeyes. So this is the team that went undefeated, 13-0. They beat the former champions. the Miami Hurricanes. And if you look at the roster of the Miami Hurricanes,
So
you
stacked.
are looking at a Pro Bowl roster. I mean, Willis McGahee, Ed Reed, um, who is their tight end? His dad played for the
Olson,
Browns.
Greg Olson.
Nope,
No,
that was a
Olson
little
was
before Olson. Winslow,
uh,
Kellen
yeah,
Winslow.
Kellen Winslow.
I mean, just the team is it was ridiculously stacked, and the year before that it was even better. But they were supposed to win back to back, and yeah, there was an infamous pass interference call that went the right way. But yeah, that team was stacked. So to beat them, I would say, and go undefeated and win a national championship, that's got to put them up there for one of the best of all time. Um, and so this is hard because I don't think you guys you'll take some of these other ones. I'm gonna go with the. Mm, 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 mm. I'm gonna go with the 2000. I take that back. Let's go with the 1995 Cleveland Indians. Oh, I know that was on your guys' list. What?
No, well, you were in that. I have a team in that '90s era, but I'm gonna let you
Okay,
continue
all
if
right,
you
all
have
right.
anything
So you're
else.
talking, and this will be for anybody who's over the age of 30. Okay, um, Albert Bell, Carlos Baerga, Eddie Murphy, Sandy Alomar Jr., Omar Vizquel, Kenny Lofton, Jim Thome, Manny Ramirez. I mean, every single guy on that list is an all-star. Was eventually traded because Cleveland can't afford him or doesn't want to afford him. And five of those guys are probably Hall of Famers. Jim Thome is in the top 10 of most home runs of all time. I mean, so is Manny Ramirez. That team was so stacked. The only downside to them, I would say, is they didn't win it. So that's where you guys could get me on that one. They didn't win it. They lost to the Braves, who also had a stacked team. I mean, you're talking John Schmaltz, Tom Glavine. Um, who was the other big pitcher on that team? It's not coming to me. It'll come to me. But yeah, that team was stacked too. But all right, Cooper, back to you.
Okay, so for my second greatest Cleveland team of all time,
Ohio
as we know,
sports team.
Ohio. Not it doesn't even have to be Cleveland. You're right. You're
There
right.
you
You're
go.
right.
Could affect your
Um,
picks.
it doesn't really. I do have. This is going to be a Cleveland team. I have the 1991-92 Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh.
Obviously, Giovanni he's covering 2016 Cavs, but I want to go with 91-92 because I think, only a few years prior, Jordan hit the shot on Elo. Everyone knows. But this year, they made it past the first round. They go to the second round. Yeah, they meet Jordan. I think
And he does it
no
again.
Jordan. But listen, I think no Jordan.
Yeah,
This is
right?
one of the teams of all time. They have super strong core. Larry Nance, Mark Price. They got Hot Rod Williams, which is a top 10 name of all time here. They have a young Steve Kerr, and obviously they got Elo. They got a Brad Daugherty. This is great basketball team
Sure.
that I think that you know could have been way greater than Michael Jordan let them be. So that's my second overall pick.
I like that pick. I mean, I'm going to be honest with you, though, Coop. It didn't even make my top 16, so.
Top 16. What?
I had 16
Oh
written
well.
down anyway. But I'll read some of the other. When we get done, we'll do honorable mention, and you'll see why.
Yeah.
All right, Giovanni.
This is gonna be up and back. Hey, I'm with 2024 first spot because honestly, we were 12 4 against either and still around 4 that we beat 10 and we beat 4 by this one we 10 by game Jack touchdown and we know uh of course you like we beat them 1.5 on 2018. So I'm with
All right, Giovanni. I caught bits and pieces of that. Did you say the 2024 Buckeyes?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I picked up too. Yeah, they were on my list, and that was one I was debating on going with, and they had the hardest road to the championship ever. I mean, I don't know if you can say they're the best team of all time, like team of all time anywhere because of that. Because to be honest with you, I think that LSU team 5 years ago probably could have done the same thing. Um, they were pretty good too. I mean, you look at their wide receiver core and their quarterback and their defense; it was pretty good. Um, but yeah, no one has ever had to beat 5 top 10 ranked opponents in a row. So definitely got to put them in the conversation, right? All right, Giovanni. You have a second pick here. What do you think? And then you may have to type it in case I don't hear you as well. So, so type it in real quick, and then we'll type it in, and then we will read it to you, read it out in case we don't catch it into that chat. Okay. All right, Giovanni. I'll let you get set back up here. There we go. All right, Giovanni, what do you so your pick is the I'll let you say it just in case it does work.
2, 7,
Yep. We got bits and pieces, but I got it here. You went with the 2007 Cleveland Cavaliers, and that was also on my list. I agree with you there, Giovanni. What a team that didn't win. You're talking about the 25-point comeback over the Pistons, or well, LeBron James dropping 25 points in the fourth quarter to come back on the Pistons, and then to run into a buzzsaw in the San Antonio Spurs. Again, you're talking about 3, maybe 4 guys on that roster that were Hall of Famers. So I agree with you. That was a good pick. All right, Coop.
Yeah, I wanted to stray away from a lot of those LeBron-led Cavaliers. I figured we would see a lot of that because LeBron is the GOAT after all. And shout out to Anderson Varejao. With my next pick, I would like to select the 2014 Ohio State University Buckeyes, who won the national championship in a dominating fashion. They won the Big Ten championship in an even more dominating fashion. I don't know if they had as hard of a road as the 2024 Ohio State Buckeyes, but they were so dominant. That's why I selected them in the third overall pick.
Yeah, I like that one too. The Big Ten championship with their backup quarterback is definitely it's a statement for the rest of the team. But I didn't pick them only because they lost that game to Virginia Tech early in the season.
Yeah.
This year's Buckeyes also lost to a team
Michigan.
a team that shall not be named.
Oh.
And Oregon, but
well, they got Oregon back though, so
yeah, they certainly did. So that one erases that one. Okay, so I get my last two, and I don't think you guys are gonna pick. Maybe I know you won't. In fact, I know you won't pick either of these teams. And then I've got some honorable mentions that I really think you guys aren't gonna pick. So, let's go with. I'm gonna stay with the. I'm gonna stick with baseball here since you guys are kind of sticking in football and the Cavs. I'm gonna go with the 1975 Cincinnati Reds.
that's crazy.
I know that both of you didn't have that. Let me tell you why.
Not even close.
The Cincinnati Reds in 1975 won 108 baseball games.
That is ridiculous.
In a season that wasn't even 162 games yet. They have 3, well, they should have 3 Hall of Famers on that roster. Joe Morgan, Johnny Bench, and R.I.P. Pete Rose. Um, yeah, that team was a wagon, and they won the World Series that year, uh, dominating fashion. So I knew you guys wouldn't have it, so I left it for the third and fourth round. And then this one I also don't think you guys will have, and it is the 48 Cleveland Indians, 1948 Cleveland Indians. The last time the Cleveland Indians have even like sniffed a World Series victory. I guess we sniffed it in 2016, but we couldn't finish on it. But they had again four, maybe five Hall of Famers on that team. Bob Feller, Bob Lemon, Satchel Paige, Lou
Satchel
Boudreau,
Paige.
and Larry Doby. And so if you ever take a trip to um, like the Guardian Stadium, those names are just plastered all over it. So that team, certainly one of the best in Cleveland Indians history, that actually, finished the job. So, all right, back to you, Cooper.
Yeah, shout out Satchel Paige. I like that one.
Yep.
That's a good one. Um, I know you said that there's no like real restrictions on what teams we have. So I have the 1997 Mount Union Purple Raiders,
Ooh,
who
they're on my
won.
list. Not that team,
Oh, they are
but they're on my
not that one.
list. Yep.
Okay, it could be basically any year. They won like what 17 national champions.
Right.
But I have the 1997 one because they won the national championship by 50 points.
Mm.
49, whatever. They won 61-12, which is crazy talk. But yeah, you could really go to basically any year. They
Sure.
beat 2002. They won by 40. I mean, one of if
Oh,
not
you
the.
better slow down. You're giving Giovanni picks.
Oh yeah. Oh, gosh. But yeah, they're one, if not the best Division III football
Oh,
team of all time.
I don't even know if that's a
Like
question.
the only other teams who
Recently,
yeah,
it hasn't been as dominant, but I don't think there's a question that Mount Union is not the best. I mean, they're all over Sports Center every time that you run into the Division III college football playoffs. So
oh yeah.
yeah.
But that's my pick is the 97 Purple Raiders.
All right, Giovanni, round us out.
In the can just then
I didn't catch that, Giovanni.
Yeah,
You might want to type that in. Yep.
I missed that one.
Type it in. Okay. So, Cooper, let's see here. You have any honorable mention there?
I don't have any. I didn't really think of any, but I'm sure. 1 second. Yes, I'm gonna come up with one in like 5 seconds right now.
Okay. I'm going to go through my list then. All right. So for honorable mention, you ready? Here's all the ones.
Sure.
Here's all the ones we didn't say. We said the 2016 Cavs, the 68 Ohio State Buckeyes football team, national champions beating USC, led by O.J. Simpson. So that was an undefeated season, one of the best. We got that one. We got the 95, the 64 Browns, which I don't really know. I mean, they're the Browns. They were a great team, had great players, a great coach, but at the same time, they went 10-3 and won, and they won the championship. But that's the last time we've won a championship as a city until the Cavs in 16. We've got the 17 Cavs. So that next year after they won the national championship, the NBA championship. I had them because they were the ones that lost to the KD led Warriors. So I mean, you're talking about a team that literally had 4 All-Stars starting. And not just like nobody All-Stars. We're talking like the best of the best in the NBA. Starters, not bench riders.
Have you seen the thing of the fan voting where I think they tried to? I don't remember if it was Andrew Bogut or Zaza Pachulia, but like
They
he had like
tried. Right.
300,000 fan
Right.
votes.
Right. Um okay. These are the ones that I know you guys didn't have. The 2023 Massillon Tigers.
I was thinking especially when you're talking about no restrictions, I was going straight to what are the best high school teams,
Yeah.
and I was thinking of Massillon.
Yep. So I thought I was like, okay, somebody will bring up a high school team. And I tried to rack my brain and you're Googling a whole bunch of stuff. And the 23 Massillon Tigers were 16-0.
And they were ranked super high nationally as
They
well, right?
won the national they went down to Texas and they won the national championship as well.
Yeah,
So they were
crazy.
the best team, high school football team in the nation 2 years ago. The 06-07 Ohio State basketball team. Greg Oden, Mike Conley, a couple of those other guys who ended up playing. I think they had 5 guys that went on to be starters in the NBA. Greg Oden didn't pan out. Mike Conley is a perennial all-star. He's
still
a
playing.
great point guard in the league. Yeah, to still be playing, 20 years later is, I mean, that's tough, right? The 59-60 Ohio State basketball team included guys like Jerry Lucas, John Havlicek, and somebody named Bobby Knight. Maybe you heard of him. But Jerry Lucas and John Havlicek are both Hall of Famers with I know they played with the Celtics for a stint. And then Cooper, I kind of matched you there. I had the 2005 Mount Union Purple Raiders football team because they won a national championship beating Wisconsin Whitewater, which
that's a tough team to
now
beat.
now you know that Wisconsin Whitewater is kind of the second standard in college football. But I was looking up their games. They won, the point differential was 659 to 127. They won every game by like 30 points or more, which is just, I mean, it's unheard of. It'd be like a varsity playing a JV team every game. So.
Yeah, okay, so I have some honorable mentions here. I know you're talking a little bit about high schools, and I wanted to say, this is off the top of my head. Shout out to Division 7 Ohio football. Marion Local has won, I think this is like their 5th straight state championship. So this year they're really stacked. And then St. Edward's Wrestling. I know you've probably heard of St. Edward's.
Yeah, I've heard that one.
They won another state championship this year. It's like their 30th or whatever.
Yeah.
So,
well,
yeah.
I mean, when you look at like teams like Massillon and some of the other parochial schools, you got to think, are those kids getting an NIL deal? Just
Probably.
Saying. Just saying.
Yeah.
Not quite as fair. That's why seeing something like what Louisville just did, pretty special.
Yeah.
That was a small town, school like that winning a state championship.
Speaking of small town schools, I want to shout out.
Monroe Central.
Not quite where I was going. It's not. It's. I can't know. I don't know why I'm not thinking of them. Right by Minerva.
East Canton.
By Minerva.
Malvern.
Malvern. Last year, Malvern went like 30-0. They were the only undefeated team in their playoffs. They won a few games in the playoffs. They went pretty far. Shout out to Malvern. That's what I was thinking of.
Yep, they're.
In basketball.
My freshman year in high school, their head coach was my coach.
Oh, that's awesome.
Coach Tucci. So, and I played with his sons. So, he's a good guy. Well, all right, gentlemen. We're going to kind of wrap it up there. I know we've spent a good amount of time. We got a lot of content there. Hopefully we get all the stuff figured out and so that we can keep doing this and have zero hiccups and and just, have some more fun with all this. And I appreciate you guys coming on again.
Yeah. Pretty dope.
We'll talk to you later.
I think Gio's typing something. So.
Okay. We'll see what he says here.
About Bengals.
Oh, the Bengals.
Yeah. 2021 Cincinnati Bengals.
2021.
That's a good. I actually like that pick. That's
yeah,
good.
The Super Bowl team. Yep. Yeah. The Rams kind of got in their way.
Shout out Matt Stafford. One of the greatest Detroit Lions to ever play.
Yeah. Wow. Too bad he couldn't do it there. So one day.
Yeah.
We'll get it one day.
Oh, please. One day, yeah.
At least one day before you die.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that's probably what Giovanni's saying about the Browns too, so. Yeah. All right, gentlemen. We're going to kind of wrap up there. I appreciate you guys coming on. Until the next one.
Yeah.
See ya.
See ya.